All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina, covering the period from today, February 19th, until next Wednesday, February 25th. I am James Danko, a meteorologist here at the National Weather Service in Raleigh, and let's go ahead and get started. So first, looking at the upcoming weather pattern for Central North Carolina. Today we have this fairly stationary boundary that's set up across near the North Carolina-Virginia border, and mainly along and north of that, there are periods of light rain that are ongoing. It's not persistent the entire time, but there's waves of it that are coming through, and that's expected to continue through the rest of today and into tonight, and gradually shift north with time, more into Virginia. So, and even right now, we're seeing much of the rain going to our north into Virginia, but still can't rule out some periods of light rain, mainly across our northern Piedmont and northern coastal plain for the rest of today into tonight. Not expecting anything heavy with that. Highs today will be pretty warm, ranging from mid-60s to the mid-70s, and very, very warm low temperatures tonight. Only getting down into the 50s to low 60s. And then tomorrow, a cold front moves through the area, maybe accompanied by a band of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. Out ahead of it, near record warmth is expected with highs in the lower 70s to near 80. And that actually may challenge the record high temperatures for that day at all three climate sites, Greensboro, Raleigh, and Fayetteville. And then for this weekend, a coastal low, an area of low pressure will develop along this front and move to our south, and then along the mid-Atlantic coast. And that is likely to bring us some additional rain. But amounts are still uncertain right now, depending on the strength and the track of the low. You could see very little rain or more, at least moderate amounts. I don't think we're going to really see too heavy of amounts with this, probably not exceeding an inch. And at the end of the event, late Sunday and Sunday night, can't rule out a period of light snow, mainly from Raleigh north and east. Not expecting anything heavy with that, and limited impacts, but the potential is there. And then behind that system, temperatures really turn cool for early next week. Even by Sunday, we're expecting highs just to turn below normal, upper 40s to mid 50s, and then by Monday and Tuesday, highs in the 40s in most places, mid to upper 40s, and then starting to moderate back into the 50s on Wednesday. And the coolest night looks to be Monday night, when we could have lows in the 20s. So looking at expected rainfall amounts through the next 5 days. Today, again, across the north, could be some light rain, but at most it would be a quarter inch, it looks like. And then tomorrow, again, just light amounts expected, around 1/10 of an inch or less. And then Saturday and Sunday, that's when we could see some heavier amounts, but still not expecting anything too heavy. Maybe on the order of looks like a quarter to half inch between both of those days. That's what's in the forecast right now. And then behind that system, we dry out on Monday. So total amounts are for the next 5 days, mainly it looks like around a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch in most places, highest in the east, maybe a quarter to half inch across the west. So those amounts are not expected to cause any issues as far as excessive rainfall or flash flooding, especially with how dry we've been lately. Looking at the thunderstorm potential, we're not expecting any severe storms, but tomorrow can't rule out a few rumbles of thunder, especially with how warm we're going to be. Saturday, the warm, more unstable air shifts to our south, but can't rule out maybe an isolated storm across our southern counties. So looking at the drought update, this was just released this morning. It's for the period ending on Tuesday. They did introduce another area of D3 or extreme drought across the northern coastal plain, including Halifax, Nash, Edgecombe counties, because of how just exceptionally dry it's been out there, really for the last several months. And there's still the area of extreme drought across the southern Piedmont near Charlotte as well. So despite the rain that we had last weekend, it just wasn't enough to make up for the long-term deficits that we've been facing. And deep soils and groundwater stores are still quite dry. So that's keeping much of North Carolina in a D2 or severe drought. 75%, 76% almost of the state is in at least a severe drought at this point. So looking at the 8 to 14 day temperature and precipitation outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, there is a 50 to 60% chance of above normal temperatures across the area. So warm conditions are favored, and not really as clear of a signal as far as precipitation. The area is either in equal chances or slightly increased chances of above normal across the Northwest. And looking at any potential hazardous weather, there could be some winds, gusty winds during the day tomorrow, gusting 25 to 35 miles an hour. And with dry, lowering dew points behind that front as it comes through tomorrow, there could be some fire weather concerns. Best chance would be later in the day across the west, because by that point out there, dew points will be really dropping. Otherwise, just maybe some more fire weather concerns early next week as we dry out, and there could be some gusty winds behind that coastal low on Monday. And it'll be pretty chilly as well on Monday and Tuesday, highs in the 40s, lows in the 20s. So just to summarize, again, with that boundary lingering just to our north, we're expecting periods of light rain today and tonight, mainly across our northern counties, but amounts would be pretty light. And then tomorrow, near record warmth, highs in the 70s to near 80. Maybe a band of showers moves through, but not expecting anything heavy. And then maybe some additional rain, it looks like this weekend, but I'm still not clear on amounts, but overall not expecting anything real heavy or certainly not a drought buster or anything like that. And still looking at the possibility for maybe a little bit of light snow at the end of the event across the north and east as the precipitation ends on Sunday night. Typically with setups like that where the cold air is chasing the precipitation, we don't see anything too much from that, but we'll keep an eye on it. And then temperatures will drop, get below normal by Sunday, and then much below normal early next week, and then starting to moderate again on Wednesday. Gusty winds tomorrow, maybe some fire weather concerns across the west mainly. then maybe some gusty winds once again behind the coastal low Sunday night and Monday. All right, that concludes the weekly briefing. Does anyone have any questions?